Hello, our dear viewers, and welcome to our special coverage for today's very special event, the Differently Abled celebrations for persons with determination and people with special abilities. Earlier today, President Abdel Sisi addressed the 5th edition of Differently Abled celebrations for the persons of determination and those with special abilities on Wednesday. In his speech, instructed to provide additional finance for Differently Abled Fund, stressing the government keenness on supporting the contribution of people with disabilities in the society. More details in the following story.
President Abdel Sisi attended on Wednesday the Differently Abled celebration for people of determination and persons with special needs at Al Manara International Conference Center in New Cairo. The celebration was attended by several ministers. The 5th edition of the Differently Abled highlighted the latest achievements of people with special needs as well as the achievements of the government in that regard. During the event, the president of the Egyptian Sports Federation for Intellectual Disabilities, Amal Mubeda, said that this celebration reflects positive energy, love and honesty, and everyone looks forward to receiving a share of the blessing of this day. She added during her speech that the first sign of civilization in human history is mercy, and that Egypt proved to the world that it is the country of this civilization, and proved that compassion and social responsibility are an inherent part of the core of the Egyptian. She continued saying that we learn from the differently abled to challenge, overcome circumstances, and rise again. Also, Palestinian child Abdullah Khalil participated in the celebration where he talked about his suffering in the last war in Palestine and how he was injured. In the presence of President Abdel Sisi, who welcomed him and his presence in Egypt, and for his part, President Sisi kissed the head of the Palestinian child Abdullah and welcomed him, telling him that the best is yet to come and that people have to be patient and work hard to achieve all the impossible. During previous years' celebration marking the International Day for Disabled Persons, President Sisi gave directives to the government to establish a special fund for Egyptians with special needs. The International Day for Disabled Persons, which comes annually on the 3rd of December, was first observed in 1992 by the United Nations General Assembly after the adoption of Resolution 47-3.
To shed more light about this very important event, we are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by Mr. Magdy Abdel. He is an ambassador to Helm Foundation. Mr. Magdy, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm good,
Good. Mr. Magdy, it is the 5th edition of the Differently Abled celebration. From your point of view, what is the significance of this celebration?
It's a very significant event because it gets all the people with disabilities together under one roof, discussing different issues regarding disability, listening to what they have to say, trying to help out with whatever they could help out with. And the government actually made a whole year for people with disabilities in 2018. So it's a roadmap that's continuing all throughout since 2018 until today.
Yes.
And I'm quite happy with the progress that's been happening, and I'm looking forward for much more progress in the days and years to come.
Yes. For you, Mr. Magdy, what is the message here that you got from the President today by attending this celebration, by his keenness to hold this event every year, and by paying special attention to the people with the special abilities? So from your own experience and from being an ambassador to an NGO which is dedicated to this mission, how do you see the difference here in Egypt?
Of course, there's been a significant difference over the years in relation to Helm consultancy, as being an ambassador to the consultancy, and how it's changed over the years. Even the concept of disability and the term disability has changed over the years, and it's become more of a term that people are shedding more light on and understanding the term disability, and that there are different types of disability. You can't put all the disabilities under the same roof.
Yes.
And how you handle each disability is also very important. And also the concept of including a person with disability in the workplace itself has been an issue that's been targeted lately. So we are on the right path, taking the right steps, and I'm very excited for the future.
Yes. Can you shed more light about the targets of the NGO that you are an ambassador to, Helm Foundation, and to what extent you are succeeding in fulfilling your dream targets, Mr. Magdy?
We're a consultancy that focuses mainly on two main aspects. Yes. The first aspect is training. We train companies, institutions on how to deal with a person with disability, what it means to have a disability, what are the different types of disability, and we also deal with the companies in telling them what is the added value of having a person with disability in the workplace itself.
Yes.
Why should you hire a disability? What are the benefits that actually come from hiring a person with disability? And the idea of having low costs when it comes to accessibility of the actual building that you're accommodating a person with disability, because it's not all about spending so much money. It's more about accommodating the person, making them feel comfortable in the environment itself, and it doesn't have to have that much cost involved.
Yes. Do you believe that we did, during the past few years, witness real change on the mindset of the people regarding this issue, and the ability of the workplace to employ people with special abilities? Do you see a real change on the ground here in this domain?
I have seen, of course, quite a significant change in this domain, even in the sense that people are starting to understand the concept of disability and that we have different types of disabilities on the surface. And we also have hidden disabilities, disabilities that aren't really shown on the surface. So that is something very, very important and significant that's been, light has been shed on the issue. And also when we come to talk about jobs and the workforce in general, more people with disabilities have started to be part of the market. So that's something pretty positive.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward for more companies to embrace the concept of disability and inclusion, and for it to be more of a norm in the country rather than it being certain specific companies or a certain quota, which is the 5% quota. We're not only talking about 5%. We're talking about anyone that has the ability to perform significantly in the workplace should be given an equal opportunity just like everyone else.
Indeed. What are the dreams that you are still willing to fulfill, Mr. Magdy, on the personal level and on the broader level for the people with certain disabilities, if I might say, or people who are somehow having certain problems? So to what extent here you are achieving your dreams, and what more you are willing to achieve in the coming periods?
On a professional level, of course, being an ambassador and trainer actually of disability ethics with Helm, I'm planning to raise more awareness on the issue of disability and how important it is to actually know, as I mentioned before, the different types of disabilities and how to handle each type of disability and how to make the person with disability feel comfortable having a disability. And also removing the barriers that could make the person feel like he has a disability, because once you remove the barriers that make a person feel like he has a disability, then he doesn't have a disability anymore. So the concept is making an environment that is accessible, that is welcoming for a person with disability. That's very important. And on a personal level, I'm also, beside my work with Helm, I'm the Student Life Director at the Royal British International School and an international motivation speaker. So I do plan on, through my work in the school and through my work as a motivational speaker, inspire more people to look at disability from a different perspective and shed light on that people with disabilities can do a lot more if they are given the chance.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Magdy, also, since the President declared the year 2018 as the year of those challenged with disability, numerous measures and decisions actually have been taken to ensure proper living conditions. Would you shed more light about these measures?
Of course, there has been a lot of changes within the Constitution to begin with. There are many laws that actually target specifically the rights of people with disabilities in the Constitution. Yes. And these laws are very, very, very powerful. But there's only one missing element that could make it even more fulfilling for the person with disability is the actual implementation of the laws on the ground. We have some laws that have been actually implemented on the ground, like including people with disabilities inside the classrooms. Yes. That has been done. A lot of accessibility also has been done in collaboration, of course, with Helm Consultancy in the accessibility of metro stations, having the tactile blocks for the visually impaired around Cairo University, and many other things. But we do need to focus more on the actual implementation of the laws that are already there and making them more accessible and more powerful on the ground. This is a very, very important issue that we need to address.
Yes. How far from your point of view, Mr. Magdy, the NGOs are asserting the importance of the private sector in that field?
Of course, the NGOs in general are including the private sector along with the governmental sector. But there is a lot of work that needs to be done, and I'm going to speak on behalf of Helm Consultancy since I'm the ambassador to the consultancy. We've partnered with over 200 partners within governmental and private sectors, and I want to say that a lot of the institutions are eager to include people with disabilities and have full inclusion within their workplace. So this is a good sign that you actually have big business owners and big owners of institutions that are willing to spend money to create change. So this is something good. And as I said, it doesn't have to be a big step all of a sudden. It can be small steps to lead to something big. The cost can be minimum, but it will definitely make a difference for the person with disability.
Indeed, Mr. Magdy Abdel, Ambassador to Helm Foundation, thank you so much for your very precious input. Really, it was a pleasure talking to you. And at the 16th session of the Conference of the State Parties to the Convention on Rights of Persons with Disabilities, COSP 16, Mushira Khattab, President of the National Council of Human Rights, declared that Egypt has made great progress in ensuring that the rights of individuals with disabilities are fulfilled. Khattab guaranteed that President Sisi supports the country's commitment to upholding the Convention's provisions for the rights of individuals with disabilities.
Since President Abdel Sisi declared 2018 as the year of those challenged with disabilities, numerous measures and decisions have been taken to ensure proper living conditions. People with disabilities in Egypt are estimated at 11 to 14 million, according to the State Information Service, as disabilities in Egypt include visual, hearing, and mobility impairment, as well as mental disability. The Ministry of Social Solidarity exerted its utmost efforts to support people with special needs. The ministry announced that the Ministry of Health and Population added 17 genetic diseases to this early detection of disability program in 2021 after it previously had only 2 genetic diseases. It also revealed that Nasr Social Bank and the Ata Fund joined the Social Solidarity Ministry in providing job opportunities for special needs people. In the past period, Nasr Bank presented 15,000 projects to Egyptians with special needs. According to the ministry, there are currently 4,500 NGOs in Egypt currently serving Egyptians with disabilities, asserting the importance of the private sector's support for them. Furthermore, the ministry revealed that the Ministry of Interior has also prepared a booklet detailing line services the ministry provides in Braille. Also, the Parliament, the House of Representatives, approved a legislative amendment that toughens the penalties against bullying people with disabilities.
Well, our dear viewers, also to shed more light on that, we are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Asma Izzaini. She is an Al-Azhar researcher. Good afternoon. Before that, we are going to take this report that we are having about Egypt witnessing an unprecedented boom during the past years in the field of rehabilitation of persons with special needs, as President Abdel al-Sisi was keen to ensure the rights of this group of citizens in education, health, job opportunities, and pensions. People with disabilities in Egypt are estimated at about 11 to 14 million civilians, according to the State Information Service. The Ministry of Social Solidarity exerted its utmost efforts to support people with special needs.
President of the National Council of Human Rights, Mustafa Khattab, announced at the 16th session of the Conference of States Parties to the Convention on Rights of Persons and Disabilities that Egypt has made significant strides in fulfilling the rights of differently abled people. The NCHR presented Egypt's experience and achievements in implementing the Convention's mandates. Khattab assured Egypt's dedication to the rights of people with disabilities per standards of the Convention is supported by presidential commitment. She added that Egypt's commitment is also evidenced by Law 10/2018, which ensures the full human rights and fundamental freedoms of differently abled people. The NCHR president added that such commitment has increased workforce participation, alleviated stigma, and raised awareness of their rights. Khattab clarified that while there is no legal discrimination against differently abled people, many of them still face difficulty in accessing digital services and reproductive health services. Khattab added that much of this is due to the country's limited resources, which sidelines the most vulnerable groups, such as differently abled, especially the women and children among them. She also said that global crises, including the COVID pandemic, the Russian-Ukrainian war, and climate change have also contributed to exacerbating current challenges and future threats. She added it is necessary to mobilize funding through international cooperation to better implement people with disabilities' rights. Additionally, Khattab asserted that facilitating public transportation and making buildings and residents accessible to differently abled people is a top priority for the NCHR. The NCHR recommended at the conference that member countries continue to harmonize domestic laws with convention mandates and empower relevant national entities with adequate financial and institutional resources.
Come to the end of this edition of our special coverage for the celebration, the 5th edition of the event, the Differently Abled People celebration for the persons of determination and those with special abilities, which took place earlier today. In his speech, instructed to provide additional finance for the Differently Abled Fund, the President stressed that the government is keen on supporting the contribution of people with disability in the society. Our dear viewers, many thanks for watching.